it's desirable that your spouse supports you if you want to run a business. Sharing your vision, sharing your passion, help where you can help. But your spouse does not necessarily have to work in your business. For all you care, might even be more beneficial for them not working your business. Because if you're already saying they don't share in the vision, why do you want somebody? It's a business. Yeah, business and family, they are different. If someone does not already share in your vision and your passion, why do you want that person on your team?
the church we were to join, and it was also like a home church where we were coming from, where where we're relocating from. And so I joined the church, and that day I sang man on the stage leading worship. He was
Oh
taking
wow.
the worship, and I just connected with that spirit. I connected with him, and I really really liked and admired him. But I was new, to the church, and I didn't have any friend. I didn't know anyone. I think I was in church with my dad at the time, and that was it. And I kept going to church, and later we became friends. And a mutual friend introduced us to each other, and that was where the spark, began.
Wow. So what was the first time you noticed her?
That was a good question, because it wasn't the first day I noticed him that maybe he wouldn't
You
notice.
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like you said, it was a friend, yeah. So a very good friend of mine who was also our best man. She just, said she wanted to introduce someone to me after, I don't know, it was fellowship, youth fellowship, or after church. Yeah, so that was how we met for the first time.
But what was that for you? Was it like a normal another person to meet, or was there something special about finally meeting her?
Of course, it was special. I didn't think it was not long, maybe not the first day, but definitely within the first month. I really liked her, and so after every service, every church, I saw her off to. So church was walking distance, so I always saw her off to her house first before I then start going the other way to my own house.
You
So
see,
yeah.
ministry after ministry. Praise God.
Hallelujah. Okay, so what quality did you admire about each other for you to decide to start dating or even get married to each other?
So I mean, for me, she was fun. She was fun. She was also very different from me. She was quite spontaneous. Um, she used to like to gist a lot. Now she has changed, maybe motherhood and plenty business. So yeah, so I mean, she was just so much fun to be with. Yeah, that was the that was what drew me, let me put it that way. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun being with her, that time. Yeah.
Ma, what qualities did you admire about your husband?
Yes, I really admired his calmness. So, like you said, I am more buzz goes, that kind of thing. And he was cool, right? Really cool. And I love that. I love that, when we have conversations, I love that we connect intellectually, someone that is really sound, because in my house, we are all like that. We have
Mm,
really high level um, intellectual, clean discussion.
intelligence.
So I like that he was a clean guy, and brilliant, all right? Brilliant. And the fact that he loved God, he served God. And
Mm.
for me, that was it.
Wow. So how long after you met did you guys now get married?
We met in 1999 and we got married in 2007. That was 8 years.
Wow. 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 So you guys have known each other for roughly 21 years or
Yes,
Yeah.
21 years.
21 years. Okay, so interestingly, you guys started SoFresh Nigeria 3 years into your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And from the name in my head, I was just thinking that maybe you guys are not getting you're getting so on fresh food, so you have to create something that was so fresh. What's your SoFresh story? Why did you start this business?
Okay, so interesting. The name wasn't even so fresh at the start. So Bimbo had said we moved from Ilorin, and Ilorin was, even though it was a big city, but it was also kind of agrarian. So grew
Mm.
up around very fresh fruits and vegetables. In fact, in my house we had big gardens, we had large farms. So I was used to getting fruits and vegetables fresh. Same experience she had growing up. And one other thing was, I was the third boy. Maybe that was the reason. So I always went to the market with my mom, and I did not like that experience at all. I mean, we all know how our markets are typically very, smelly, dirty.
Rowdy.
You have to walk in the sun, rowdy, and all of that. And so, when we got married and we didn't move to Lagos immediately. We first lived outside the country for a few years, maybe 2 years. We came back. We went back to Ilorin, and then maybe like 6 months after that, we now moved to Lagos. So there was a shock. So we didn't
Mm.
find fruits as fresh as I'd been used to. Then that old memory of going to the market with my mom came back, because I went to the
Mm.
market with her. Sometimes, then we had a baby, so sometimes I would sit in the car with the baby, and then she would go into the market, and she would be coming back, sweating, tired, looking frustrated.
Mm.
Sometimes I went with her, and I didn't like that experience again. And then so after a while, maybe like after a few years, we started, thinking about how can we even make impact. So I told her one day, what about if we start a fruits and vegetables store? Is that a kind of
Mm.
would like to do? Definitely. Um, I remember this time ShopRite didn't even come to Nigeria, so it was not something we had seen. It was just a thought that why can't you buy fruits and vegetables in a supermarket normally? And so that was the idea. Interestingly, we traveled and then we came back. So when we traveled and we saw how things were being done in other places, we came back and said we were going to start doing this. So we started selling just fruits and vegetables. That was the idea, to have a very big
Mm.
space, clean, hygienic, conducive. People walk in, pick your fruits and vegetables, even pick a few other food items, and then you don't have to be in that smelly and dirty place. And so that was how we started. And initially we called it Fruity Veggies. We just combined fruits and vegetables. So that was
Mm.
how we started. But once we started, we quickly found out that the kind of customers we were attracting wanted something slightly different. We wanted
Mm.
meals, so started experimenting with juices, smoothies, and salad. This was 2010. These things were not big in Nigeria, so we started experimenting with it, and really that was how the business took off.
Yeah.
Or rather, let me ask, how long after you had started with fruit and vegetable did you notice that you wanted to start experimenting? I know it couldn't have been immediately after, but how long?
It was actually almost
Almost
immediate.
immediately.
It was
Yeah.
it was a
Oh
space of two
wow.
weeks.
Yes.
It was a period of 2 weeks
2 weeks to
within the
1
first
month.
month. 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because when we started, right, people came into the store and were asking, "Oh, do you have juices? Do you have smoothies?"
Oh
And
wow.
like, no, it's fruits and vegetable. And then around about the 2 weeks, we just looked at it and said, if people are coming in asking for this,
To ask.
provide it. So then
Oh
straight,
wow.
we dashed to game then, and we just bought a juicer and a smoothie maker, and that was it. So it was almost immediate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to say something?
No, just agreeing with it.
Okay, I was going to do other people's questions later, but I think something you said now has triggered one of the questions. This question was from Ola. She said, 'cause the first question she asked, how did you know that this business was going to work? I think you've answered a bit of it, but she also said, did you come into it with a marketing plan or research to know if this would work for your target market?
Yeah, so I mean, so we did research. Don't I mean we did research, like that. I mean, we were starting out. We were young in business. I didn't know as much as we didn't know as much as we know now. Um, what we knew was that people ate fruits and vegetables. People went to the market every day, and so we thought if it was in a clean environment, people
Mm.
come and buy. So we, of course, we did a lot of research on food preservation. Where do we source and all of that? We were quite weak on even what the customer or the market wanted, or if we're going to be able to attract the right kind of customers. We were weak on that side. But the good thing we did is that once we started, we quickly started listening to what the customer wanted. So I just told about the juice and smoothies. It was what customers
Mm-hmm.
were asking for. Then we started adding, healthy groceries. Like in 2010, things like chia seed, flax seed, all of that. All those were based on the customers. So planning is good, is great. If we did it again, we'll do it with a much better plan. But I'll say more important is what you learn every day from the market, from your customers. It will even be more important than what you plan. Because when you have a plan, once it hits reality, it gets into the market space, it gets into customer, it cannot be exactly the same. So you must be flexible enough to listen to your customers, to know how they want it, where they want it, and all of
Respond
that.
to that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I'm wondering, by the time you were starting your business, was this full time? Did you start this as a full time business, or you were also doing another job on the side? What was the story of the first 2 years, or yeah, about 2 years of SoFresh?
Okay, the first 2 years he was still in the paid employment. I was as well, but along the line we just couldn't cope with holding
Hmm.
down a day job and building a business as it were. And initially when you start a business, of course you need capital, right? And so
Hmm.
it's a business that hasn't been tested by us to even know
Hmm.
if it will survive. And so it would be
Hmm.
foolishness to resign and both of us sit down and we are there selling apples and oranges, right? So it was wisdom for someone to hold down the job and keep funding while the other partner tries to manage it and grow the business. So right from the onset it's been a product of teamwork. Yeah, so that's just how it's been, but of course right now it's what we do full time.
Wow. So how did you guys decide who was going to hold down the force and who was going to go out and do the 9 to 5? What decisions did you have? What factors did you have to put in place to make that decision of who gets to do what?
Ah, the amount of money the amount of money that was coming in from his salary was of course massive, so it's a no-brainer.
So who was the person that was actually doing full time so fresh at that time?
My husband,
So
okay,
Like,
so fresh, myself,
yourself.
yeah.
Okay.
um what the question we get a lot is my husband, especially from women, that my husband doesn't want to join me in my business. um so I would say that it's desirable that your spouse supports you if you want to run a business. Sharing your vision, sharing your passion, help where you can help. But your spouse does not necessarily have to work in your business. For all you care, might even be more beneficial for them not working your business. Because if you're already saying they don't share in the vision, why do you want somebody? It's a business. Business and family, they are different. If someone does not already share in your vision and your passion, why do you want that person on your team? You can be great husbands and wives. Doesn't mean great business partners. And I, I, I prefer it to occur naturally. If you have a dream, share it. As you're making progress, share it. Let it come naturally. Don't force, don't think that it must be that your husband or your wife should join your business. I'll say no. It's not compulsory. It doesn't have to be. It can even be more problematic, down the line. So it's good if you are both aligned, in terms of your values, visions, and the way you carry out things. Why not? It's good if you have your partner join your business. It's very desirable. But for me, it's not always compulsory. Yes, it has worked for us, not without its own challenges. But I don't think it's not always necessary. But of course, even if you are going it alone, you want that support, and because your spouses anyway, and whatever you are doing, there should be that support. Just like he or she will support you if you had a paid employee. It's desirable for the person to support you as well, but not necessarily get involved in running the business. That's my take.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. I'll take another question from the audience, and I am Paul Oyewusi is asking: is it wrong to train your girlfriend to measure to some kind of standard you admire in a lady?
Yeah, maybe I should answer it as a guy. So that I don't understand that question very well. You want to train your girlfriend to a standard
that you admire.
That you admire in another lady. Like probably you see somebody. Probably you see somebody.
I mean, what kind of standard? So you admire, something in somebody else, and then you want your girlfriend, to measure up to that standard. That in itself is quite problematic. You're not accepting. So why don't you just go for the one that has it? Because the standard is already there. Why don't you just go for that one? So what you're trying to do is there's things you admire in this person. You want to bring, that. I mean, she's an human being. You just need to accept. I mean, if there are things you believe she can improve on, yes, but to project somebody else's standards, on somebody else may be problematic down the line. I think in relationship, it's more desirable to allow people to be themselves, to grow, to grow, and maximize themselves. You will not always get 100%. But in their own areas of strength, and you want to support them through that. Of course, if there are areas of weaknesses, you want to help them through that, but not expect that you will train an area of weakness to a standard that you expect in another person. You might just have you might just give yourself a lot of headache down the line.
Yeah.
Oh, I've asked your question. Okay. So I want to go back to the opening of branches, because I know that the second one was more of okay, let's try this and see if it works for you. How long after you had opened your Ikoyi branch did you know that this was working?
This was working. Okay. When you can see your bank statements. Well, so how long? Maybe 6 months or less than.
It was about 4 months.
Yeah. That's even we saw a very, very massive change.
Wow. Which is the SoFresh Nigeria have now?
10.
10. Wow.
Yeah.
And definitely much more to come. What is the process of starting a new branch? Because I know now it's almost like a template. And congratulations, I know you just opened a Surulere branch during the COVID, which which emphasizes the growth that the business is actually having now. Congratulations. So what is usually the process of starting a new branch? How long does it take to finalize the process of starting a new branch?
I'm not sure there is a specific length of time, because, well, from when a desired or a preferred location is secured to opening, it's usually not, it doesn't take too long. Maybe it takes about 3 months max. But the process of finding the right spot is what takes us years. Sometimes it takes us years. And because we have, learned from that talk by experience, we don't, rush to taking spaces that we already can see that no, we don't like. Right. Yeah. So it can take a long time to find the right spot. But from when we find it, we make payments to opening it. Usually, even the landlords won't give you forever to open. Once you have make payments, they just give you like 2 or 3 months to renovate and equip the stores.
Wow. I think your location point is so valid. I think for me, I've gotten that. I don't know if anybody else has picked that. And please let us know in the comments. Yeah, Toby to also pick that. I can see that location is really, really key. Maze Chops is asking a question. She says, good evening. Please, can I get my spouse interested in my business? There are some parts of my business that I need his professional input, but it doesn't take me seriously. So I think that is how can I get my spouse?
So does that your spouse, does he have competence to give you that professional advice in those areas? Or you just assume that he should know? Does he really have the competence? Maybe she can, maybe she can answer. Is she saying
so
yes?
No, that's somebody else. Please, can you answer the question? Does your spouse have competence in that area, or you just assume that he knows?
And even if he has competence in that area, he might just not want to commit, commit to.
So yes, what I think is saying. So you are running a business, your husband's an accountant, and you want the person to help, and they're not helping.
Yeah, okay. She said he has the competence.
He has the competence.
Just take him serious. I mean, so I understand. I mean,
what should she do?
What should she do?
I will not be happy, or I will not lie. If I were in your shoes too, I will not lie. But what will I do if I were in your shoes? I'll find someone else, but I will not be happy. I would want to know why, though. I would want to know why.
How will she get him interested? She wants him interested. She doesn't want another option.
Okay, so you can't force it. Unfortunately, you cannot force it. You cannot force it. That's it. You can persuade, right? You can try to also present your vision, your mission, the reason you are doing this. You can convince him that it's more than just buying and selling. Perhaps he's seen some traits of maybe mismanagement or unseriousness, and he feels, no, I don't want to waste my time. Perhaps, I'm just saying. So there would be reasons why he's declining. Okay, you want to gently want to persuade to know why. If it is that maybe his plate is full, maybe work in the office, he just doesn't want to commit because he cannot guarantee that he would always be available. That's another ball game entirely. And if he's available, you will know that he will give you his time. If it is a Sunday or a Saturday, he will give you his time. Like my husband helps me design all my PowerPoint slides. He might not do it when I want him to do it, but he will give me a time. He will tell me he's busy, but I will do it on Sunday, 6 p.m. You know, he can be that specific so that I can put my mind at rest. And there are some things I ask him that I know he can do, and he says he doesn't have time. Does it hurt me? Yes. But has he also, you know, helped me sometimes? Yes. So what do I do?
What did I say I cannot do?
You know, so, you know, so I'm just saying that it could be because of so many things, and you just don't want to conclude to say he doesn't want to. So how do you get him? So how do you get him? It will be to persuade him by showing him that you're serious. You know, present your business plan and let him see that, no, but I'm building this to be big. If he still is not convinced, girl, look out and get someone to help you. Very soon.
She said exactly.
Very soon.
He always. Okay.
He's always busy. Okay, you
So
see. Yeah, you know now. Okay, so persuade him. Okay, since you also know that he's busy, you want to also be reasonable now.
No, but I think even if he's busy, I mean, you expect that he should be able to give you time. I mean, it's not working 24 hours a day. But I think
I feel it's because I'm not a paying customer. No, now you're paying somewhere now.
You might not also be speaking his language. So I don't know the exact reason, but don't assume that because he's my husband, then you should just help me. So have you put together what the goal, what the dream, what the vision is? You know, and let him see that. So is he a very analytical person? Do you want to present that to him that, okay, I'm doing this now, but this is where I want to take it to, and this is where I need your help and all of that. So it might just be the way you're presenting it. So you might want to think of another way to present it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Those were amazing answers. I need to ask this question. We have a few minutes, about 5 minutes, and I need to ask you, Ma. I know also you manage your consulting firm, AB More.
Yeah.
How do you wear your different hats from SoFresh to AB More to being a mom, wife, and I'm sure so many other things in between, a speaker, a trainer? How do you manage working two work roles than other roles at the same time?
I have just maybe two responses to that. Number one, the big one for me is because I have a super supportive partner who really would love to see me, you know, fly and do what I love, right? And the second one is also because of my own drive, passion, and you know, my passion, my drive. I just believe that I'm just doing it. I'm just saying that I could do it, I could manage it, and I'm not doing it alone. Even this AB consultant, I say, how do I just told you that my other does all my, you know, PowerPoint. He does so many things for me. So it couldn't have been without him, honestly. Yeah. So that makes it easy, you know, to juggle everything. And sometimes I fall short of so many areas because you can't have it all together at once. There is no way a particular aspect will not, you know, sort of be ignored or be neglected for a while, and then you go back and pick it up where you have left it again, you know. So it comes with its own downsides, you know, handling so many things. But when you have, you know, someone really understanding and loving, I mean, you can reach for the stars, reach for the moon. Which one is the highest? You can keep shooting. Yeah, and conquer the world. All right.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh my God. And this has been amazing, super amazing. Please let us know how much you've enjoyed today's session. Last question before we go. What principles do you both put in place to help manage your home and your work so that both of them don't clash with each other?
I mean, I think it's simple. Family first. We just
Mm.
made a decision a while back. Also not at the beginning, but after a while, think I will say kudos to my wife. We just made that decision, that family first, irrespective of what we do. We'll keep the family first. There are many decisions we've made, and we've prioritized the family, ahead of the business and all of that. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Wow. Ma, did you want to add to that also?
What was the question again? I got
I said,
lost thinking
what
about
prince?
his own answer. I forgot to think about the question. Okay, you soon call me. Hey, what's the question?
I said, what principles do you both put in place to help manage your work and home so that both don't clash?
Okay, so principles. Well, I'll say structure as well. Structure. We have help as well at home. Someone who can also assist and take up some, responsibilities and taking care of, so many things that is involved in home management. And so we outsource what can be outsourced in that home management aspect. So we ensure that we, as much as possible, create time for the kids. And again, it comes back to, family first. So yeah, so the structure has really helped, and the fact that the kids are growing every day, it also
Mm.
makes it all good, because when they were much younger, they were more dependent, and you can't even go to some functions that do not allow you bring your child. So many things. It's just getting better, and it's also because we have a united focus and united voice that's family first, yes, and of course business as well, and of course our individual dreams and aspirations. Yes, so it's all about working together and playing together, building together, loving together, serving together. Everything is possible. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you both so much for honoring our invitation. I'm so grateful. I think we have about 1 minute left. I just want to say I am really grateful. Thank you. I just sent you a
All
message
right.
and you responded so kindly to me. I am very grateful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma.
It's
You've
a
been a blessing to
pleasure.
us.
Well done. We love what you do. Thank you for
Thank you,
inspiring
ma.
the world that it's possible to
Thank
be
you.
couples and still keep smashing the goals, right? Not working
Yes,
against
ma'am.
each
Yes,
other,
ma'am.
but working together.
Working
So thank you for
together.
the message that you preach. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's amazing having
Bye.
you. And thank you, everybody, for being a part of the program.